Hello, hopefully all of you are doing good. Now, if you remember in the Splunk UI toolkit playlist, so we are started working on a concept app called Splunk Deep Learning app, right? Now, in the last video, we have seen how to create a Splunk app using this Splunk UI toolkit and also add a component over there. Now, in this particular video, we will basically make more modifications to this app. Now, instead of this sample component, we will be actually creating a file uploader component today and see how it goes over there. Okay, now for that, if you remember, like we have created this particular project over there, right? So hopefully I will be publishing this project in my GitHub repo as well, so that going forward we can refer the code as well. Right now, as a part of this project, so inside the package folder we have this file uploader component, as also we have this deep learning app YouTube component, right, which is basically an app over here. Now, in the last video, what we have done is like we created a link of this inside. If we just go to inside this folder, there should be a stage folder, right? So for this stage folder and inside the Splunk etc apps folder, we created a link over there, right? So that we can, whatever code changes we are doing it over here, we can see it in the Splunk. Now you will continue doing the same. Now for today, as I said, let us build a file uploader component. So to start with, what I will do is I will just go over here and remove all the unnecessary codes here first. Okay, now if you go to Splunk UI toolkit website, so there are, if you go to API docs page, so there are a lot of inbuilt component you can use it, which directly comes within the Splunk UI toolkit app. Even apart from that, you can also use any React component available. So for today's one, if you just go to under Splunk UI toolkit React UI, right, so there are a lot of components, as you can see it, like accordion, anchor, cards and all. So there should be a component called file, which is basically allow you to create a upload component over here. Okay, now there is another component called image, which allows you to do the same, right? Over here, if you see, if I just upload an image of apple, it will show over here. Okay, so either we can use this one or you can use the file uploader. So this is a more generic uploader over here. Okay, but we can make it both work for image upload as well. We will see both of these examples today. Okay, and how to use it as well. So for now, what I will do, and also I just wanted to show you, like if you go to any component, right, and there are a lot of examples over here, and if you just click on show code, it will show you the codes of that one as well. Okay, now the most of the examples, as you can see it over here, uses the class based React component here, but in our code base we will mostly use the function based React component over here. Okay, that will be the most event, but ultimately the functionality would be same over here. Now if I just go to my file uploader.jsx, which is under the source folder inside the file uploader component, right? So this is where all the codes resides here, as you can see it, like these buttons and all, which is reflecting in the Splunk UI over here as well. Let us remove them. So what we will do is, we do not need these counters and all everything, right? So we will remove this. We'll start with a very clean slate. We will not use the style container and everything. For now, I'll just keep a simple div over here. Okay, and I'll just write test over here for now. This constructor is not required as well, because we will be using the function based component here. So let us remove all of these things, as we will not be using the class based component. Now I just wanted to show you one thing over here. If you are working on Visual Studio Code, so there is a extension called this one over here, ES7 React Redux React Native snippets. Okay, so these allow you to create components very easily. if I just come over here in my file uploader.jsx, right, and write RAFCE, it will allow you to function export component, just like it will basically create a boilerplate of the function based component over here. Okay, so as we already have the export default, I'll just remove this guy here from now. Okay, so that, and we already have this code base over here as well, so we'll remove that. We will not need these things here, we will remove that. Okay, we do not need component, this is required for creating the class based component. So instead of that, we will be using use state, so that hook we will be using it. So let us import that one. Okay, I will explain why it is required in the latter part of this video, but this is what we have it here, right? So if I just now I already have, if I just show you my command prompt here, so I am already running the yarn run start from the same base folder over here, right? So it is already watching that one. So if you are still not started watching it, so you can just go to the root folder of our app where we have both of all these folders inside it, and run yarn run start. So it should start watching the file changes over here, right? And in the last video we have seen like how to remove the Splunk cache and how to remove the browser cache as well, right? So that whatever changes we are doing it every time, we do not need to restart Splunk for this one. So let us see whether this particular change has been reflecting or not. So if I just press F12, okay, so that it will basically enable this one, disable cache, right, and refresh this particular page. Ideally only that div content, that file uploader should be, if I just remove it now, file uploader, that is what we have created it over here, right, this particular div. So that is reflecting over there, so that is fine. Now let us try to see how we can create a file uploader component over here, right? I'll go to Splunk React UI, that page. First we will start with the simple one, the image uploader. Okay, if I just click on the show code over here, so what it is doing, it is basically importing this image first, right? So let us do that. Let us do that here, right? And now here we will just create a very simple image uploader component here. Okay, so instead of div, I'll just say image, right? If I just simply do that, what will happen? Let us see that. So if I go over here, F12, because this disable cache, this our developer tool needs to be run to always enable that. Okay, so that's why I'm always going there and then doing it. So if you see it here, it just created a simple image uploader component over here, and if you just click on upload file and upload some image, it will show over here. Now our intention is to upload an image and then do some classification of that image using readily available model, something like ResNet 50 or something. We will explain that in the latter videos, but that is what our main motto is. So that's why instead of using this image component, we will just use the file based component and then display this image probably into a table, and then the classifications into other table columns as well. So that probably that design we can follow it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you like you can create this this image uploader very easily here, and it has lot of props as well. One of them props will be on image change. So this method, if you see that this prop type is function, right? So that means you need to write a function over here which will handle like what you will do on whenever you upload an image over here, right? So we will see the similar thing for the file based component as well, which we will be discussing now. Okay, how to implement that. So let us try to see a file based component now. So if I just show you the code, So it is kind of similar. So we are just importing file here. Now only difference is the file based component allows all the different kinds of file, right? Not only an image, it can allow docx or any Excel as well over here, but we can make it an image uploader by restricting it. We will see that how to do it as well. Okay, so we have created the file, we have imported it. Now if I just write something like this, file, right, like this. Okay, we need to put it in a div, right, because we have now multiple components here. So if I just put it in a div, it should work fine. So let us try to see how it looks like. So again, we will be doing the similar stuff here, right? So as you can see it, the file based component looks exactly same like the image uploader component, right? But here the only difference is the image uploader component will only allow this GIF, JPEG and PNG files, right? As you can see it here, right? But file uploader component will be allowing all different kinds of files over here. So that will be the main difference over here. And another difference is if I just upload a file, it just does nothing, right? Compared to whatever image uploader we have, it shows the image over here, uploaded image over here, right? So that means we need to write our own logic to handle that uploaded file over here, right? So that is what we will be doing it now. Now if we go to the file based uploader API, right, so it accepts lot of props over here. Like one of them is allow multiple, where you can upload multiple files, you can disable it, right, you can drop anywhere as well, on the page, and it will upload the file over there. But the one we will be using it is this one, on request add. So this is basically a callback for which, like when user selects a file, right, this particular callback function will be triggered over here. So in this particular callback function, a file reference will be passed, and then we can use that file reference to read that particular file over here, right? So let us do that. So on this props, I'll be adding it over here in our file based component, right? So on request add, so if I go back to the documentation, it should be a function, right? So let us create a function over here, arrow function over here. Okay, now as I said, whenever this particular file upload, user selects a particular file, so it sends a file reference over here as an input of this function. So that's why I am taking this one over here. Now if I just do a simple console.log here on this file, let us see how it's going over here, okay, on our file uploader. So if I do the similar stuff, okay, now if I just upload a file, let's say this file, and if I just go to our console, if you see, it basically printed this one over here, the file name, the file details over here as well, okay, with all the details over here. This is the file object, we have it over here, the file size and everything, right? Now our intention is to read this particular file and probably display it somewhere. As of now in this video, in later videos we will try to classify this file as well, right? So let us try to read this particular file. Now JS has a file reader utility, okay? If we pass a file object over there, we can use that to read a particular file and do something, right? So if you search in Google, you will find a lot of details about that. One of them could be this particular page, where it basically thoroughly describe the file, what file reader utility is, and file reader is, and how it works over there, okay? So let us try to discuss that one as well today. So first thing you need is, if I just go over here in our on request add, the first thing you need to use the file reader is you need to create a reader object first. Okay, this is how you will be creating it. So I'll just copy that, right? So we created a reader object over here. Now then you can use this reader object to read the file. Now you can read the file in very different ways, like as base 64 encoded string by using this read data as URL, or there are method called like read as text or read as binary string, read as buffer as well. You can use one of them. So for now, today we will just make it simple. We will just use this read data as URL. Okay, so this is what I will copy it here. Now one thing we need to remember here is you need to basically send the file object here, right? So if I just go, so this is the portion we have to send it over here. So that means the first element of this array here, right? So that's why this is very much important to send the first element here. Okay, because it's always creates the list of files over here. Now this read data as URL and other methods discussed over here all are asynchronous method, right? So how to read the file? So once this guy finishes the reading of this particular file, it's basically fires an event called load. So we can use that one as well. For that, what we will do is we will say reader dot on load. Okay, this is also a function, so we can create an arrow function over here as well. So it can give you the details of the file it has read. So if I just console.log it now, console.log e now, you will see the file content now as well. Okay, because previously you would have seen like we are not able to see the file content over here, right? So let us try to see that. So if I upload a file, right, this one, so now it first initially it has printed the details of the file here, right? Now second, it has printed that e, whatever we have console.log it over here as well, right? And now if we just see it further, so for that e.target result, you will see the base 64 encoded string, which is basically nothing but the file content over here, right? And if we just pass this one to a image tag, right, it should display that same image we have uploaded it over there as well, right? So let us try to do that one. So this is the base time we will be using the use state hook in React, right? So it will basically, if we just think very simply, we can just think it as a setter and getter function. So we will set some value, we will get some value over here, we'll read that value over here. So this is how we use it. So if I just create, okay, let me format this guy a bit. Okay, so if I just say const, so we want to, whenever this onload event is getting triggered, right, that means the file reading is completed by this file reader, right? So we want to save it in a variable. That is what we are trying to do it, and then use that variable to a image tag. That's our motto over here, right? So so this is how we use it. So this is how it will be, like it will be something like use state hook. So this basically returns two things. One is a getter function, one is a setter function. So this is first thing will be the getter function file. I'll just name it as file content. Okay, so if you want to use the current value of it, you just use this particular variable over here, right, file content. And there is also a set file content. You can use this particular method to set the content as well. So set the value of this guy over here as well. Okay, this is how the basic structure of use state looks like. So you will get a getter and a setter function. So as inside our onload, we will be using our setter function over here, right? So this will basically set the value of file content right? So what we will be setting it up? So if I just go back, we'll be setting it up e.target.result, right? This is what we will be using it. So let us do that, e.target.result. Okay, so calling this one, we'll set this one. Now we will use this guy over here in an image tag. So let's create an React default image tag to show the image over here. So this is React out of the box image tag here, right? So it requires a source which will be nothing but our file content over here, and it should be inside a curly braces over here. Okay, now if you see, when we initially call the use state, we have not passed any value over here, right? So if you want to initialize the content of this file content, you can pass some value over here as well. Okay, but as for us, we will be doing in this way. So let us try to see that now. Okay, so if I upload a file here, right, so we should be able to see that in a div over here, in an image over here. In later videos we will try to do more on this one. Okay, so for now in this video we just seen how to create a file uploader over here. Now if you want to restrict this file uploader only for the images, so if I just go over here, okay, and examples, so there is a multiple examples on it, like how to disable it and how to restrict it. So this is how you can customize it as well. You can put some help text over here as well. Okay, and it can give you like only this images it can support. So if I just show code, so there is a accept prop over here. Okay, so you can add this one as well. So it will only accept the image files over here. So in our file reader, so this is one prop, right? So this will be another prop over here. So this is a string, this prop value, and this prop value is a function over here. That's the difference over here. Okay, so if I just do it now, so now initially, okay, let's do a refresh now. Okay, and if I just try to upload file now, we can see it over here. It will only allow the image files over here. That will be the difference over here. So we are able to create a file uploader, basically an image uploader, using two different ways. One is the out of the box image uploader Splunk provides. Another is a very generic file uploader, which we make it as an image uploader, and then we use this on request add method, add prop, basically to read that particular image and do something. So probably like whenever we will be classifying that image, all our code related to the classifying will be inside this particular method on, right? So that is what we will be doing it as well. So hopefully this video was helpful. See you in the next video.